it's a tough spot. The guys I feel the worst for right now are the assistant coaches, because you have to think about this. Every season, coaches lose their jobs. Head coaches, and that trickles down, assistants, offensive coordinators, position coaches, they lose jobs. It happens all the time. The difference is when those moves happen, they're normally when the Musical Chairs Act is going on. So you find another seat to sit in. You find another spot that you can coach the next season, and a lot of these assistants don't have that now. So the new coach is going to get their own guys, I would assume. I would hope that a new coach is going to get to pick his staff, and that means a lot of position coaches, coordinators, they're unemployed. And I saw a few of them at the men's basketball game the other night. Good for them to not be bitter, but show up, still support their school, dressed in maroon and gold. They don't know what their future holds. And right now, Kyle Nystrom's the interim head coach, but all of those guys could be out of jobs next season. That's who really hurts in all this. The players are going to be back. They could transfer if they want, the ones that don't feel like the new system will fit, if it is a new system. But the coaches really don't have any options now. I feel the worst for them, the assistant coaches.
Well, it's a good point you bring up. It's something I didn't even think about is the assistant coaches now, their future is kind of hanging in the balance, right? And that's what you're kind of touching on there. I mean, you bring in a new coach, who knows whether you'll be kept on or not, and you bring in Kyle Nystrom, who's now the interim head coach.
I think it's just a placeholder right now. They're going to do a search, and they're going to find a guy.
And there's multiple candidates out there, and like Jim mentioned, we'll go over in a little bit. But, I mean, this is a program with a history in the last decade of coaches, the last two tenured coaches here with Brian Kelly and Butch Jones, both guys who had success here and were able to move on. Dan Enos has been here for longer than they were and hasn't had similar success. In any way, does he honestly look at himself and say, we've been here 5 years, okay, with 3 wins, 7, 6, and 7. How much longer do they give me here with a leash, right?
Well,
or should I jump ship and go find something else?
And that's why I say I don't think it's a money thing. It's a job security thing.
Money played a part, Jim.
A very small part. I want to break this down for people that don't realize this. Every single head football coach in the country could make more money as an offensive coordinator in a big conference. Every single one of them. You look at Chuck Martin last year, takes the head coaching job at Miami. That's a pay cut. To be a MAC head coach, you take a pay cut, and you do it because the position is a promotion. It's an upgrade. To be in charge of an entire program is more important than to be inside of one side of the ball for more money. Every coach could do that. Nobody does. That's my point. That's that stat I throw out for you. Only one coach, other than Dan Enos, has left a head coaching job to be a coordinator in college that very next season after having success, after being in a bowl game, not being forced out, but choosing to resign to go to a lower position. Nobody's done it. The money is always out there. The money's out there every single offseason, and nobody does it. Why is that? Because of security, job security. Right. You go down to Arkansas, think about it. I think he fits that system great. They're going to run the ball 40 times a game. And he's going to have some success there. Bielema's building it up down there. He's going to have some more success, and it's easier for him to sell himself if he wants to be a head coach again because he didn't get dismissed anywhere. He has some success with Bielema. He expanded his coaching tree. If he stays at CMU, and there's a daunting non-conference schedule next year. Oklahoma State's on that schedule. Michigan State.
It's like a 4, 5, 6-win schedule at most.
It's going to be tough for whoever the coach is, even if that was Dan Enos, and if he said, listen, I don't think we're not going to win, but there's a chance we don't win, and what happens to my career if I get dismissed? Where do I go from there? It's certainly not the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. So from that perspective, it was a great career move,
yes.
But I think it's a career move because of a security standpoint, not because of the money. The money's out there for all these head coaches at all of these MAC schools and Sun Belt schools and Conference USA schools.
That's why I say it's a cop-out for him, right? I mean, for him, it's a job security, but don't you trust yourself as a competitive guy and as a head coach that you're going to be able to compete for the next couple of years? I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he quit.
Hey,
it's unfair to the assistant coaches.
Don't quit.
He doesn't quit. I mean, that was the quote and the drop that we're using there is from the Bahamas Bowl win in a game. Obviously, they came back but I mean, made the right decision for himself, and I think you say that because I think he has better leverage now going to be an offensive coordinator in the SEC. As a head coach in the MAC, he's reached his ceiling here, right? I mean, you returned 19 starters this year. You had a returning quarterback. You returned Thomas Rawls, who wasn't with the program, but a very talented running back, the best wide receiver in school history, and the number one defense in the MAC, and you still can't get to that 8, 9, 10 win mark that Butch Jones and Brian Kelly got to. And he had been here 5 years. How much longer could he last? I don't know. And I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he just left. I mean, you said it. Job security is huge, and he needed it at this point in his career, and he took the easy way out for me. He took the easy way out by taking more money and less responsibility, and the only thing that I'll give him is the fact that, yes, as an offensive coordinator in the SEC, you're going to have a better chance down the road to become a head coach again, whereas if he got fired next year here at Central Michigan, which has potential, or did have potential. I mean, if he falls in a situation where he only wins 4, 5, 6 games this year, then he might have been on the way out. And if he was, who knows if a head coaching position would have been waiting, or who knows if an Arkansas offensive coordinator position would have been waiting. And I think he saw that. And I think he also saw PJ Fleck signing an extension over there at Western Michigan and saying, I don't think we're going to compete with this Western Michigan program in the next 5 years.